humping Steven Crowder.
Breasts. 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 Breasts.
Cucumbers. 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 Cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Cucumbers. Cucumbers. Cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Good. Good. Humping Steven Crowder.
Guess I'm humping Steven Crowder today. "21 years of Optimum. All I wanted was to upgrade to 2 gigabit internet. This began a nightmare, leaving my home without internet and TV for 6 days. I just switched to Fios. Took me 5 seconds to set up my 2 gig system. Now we have wired backhaul 2 gig mesh Orbi 960 breasts." Oh. This is how you run a stream, Phil. So hold on a second. Oh, I almost forgot again. Also, I owe this to Brett Weiss, too. He sent me out a copy of his NES guidebook. This is someone, I don't know who it is, sent me the Elden Ring, the Lands Between Elden Ring Book of Knowledge Volume 1. And it's like a guide with artwork, and it has a map for the Lands Between in there. So whoever sent that, thank you. I don't know, I didn't buy it. Can't be a coincidence that I play Elden Ring every day. So we'll wait for a little bit. I know it's early in the day. More good news about my daughter. She's healing nicely to the point that they're going to change her wrappings on a daily basis because her skin is healing. They want it to be exposed to air more. I don't know who bought it, man. Someone bought it, though. Rich, I want to take you home and snack on you. Didn't he say too, like, I can't get real hard, but oh, that clip, dude, I would so love to watch Tim and Eric clips, but I know my shit would be fucking, I don't care about claims. You guys know what I always say, claim all you want. But if the stream, remember the one time we were watching that Chris Hansen video, just got stopped. Now, to YouTube's credit, that's the choice they give you instead of putting a strike on your account. Shut down my stream any day of the week. I'll choose that any day of the week, YouTube. So I actually like that they do that. Um, but yeah, you got to be careful with what you watch. Is my point. I don't. Where the hell was this bird? Does it say where this bird was made? Someone asked me that. What is? So, dude, there was yeah, Tim and Eric stuff is so. Dr. Steve Brule is actually even funnier. I know it's part of Tim and Eric, but yes, you could get a Who Wireless.
Who wireless?
Afternoon, Rich. Hope your family is better. Stay relaxed. Yeah, more good news today. Dreamcast guy soup. Rich touch me. Keep coming. How are you naked again? It was his first super chat that came in. So we'll wait not as long as I'm not going to wait for 500 people. It's only 2 in the afternoon. Most people don't even think I'm streaming right now. I don't know how long I'm going. I could go. I don't have my kids again until Thursday. Yeah, got a couple days. So I was like, you know what? Got good news. There's no news. Still debating on if I'm going to open the N64 myself or send it to Jay. I think I'm going to open it myself because by the time I get it to him in Canada, it'll take forever. So, link if you're horny, so I'd have to just keep my eyes open. What the fuck? Who is Sneeko? I don't give a fuck about Sneeko. I don't. Who is Sneeko? He sounds like a fucking cartoon character. Thank you for appreciating the wonder that is my shoulders. Now, who the fuck is here? Oh, just a car driving by. Wait till you get to the end, Rich. We mean 14 years from now. Keem says the same thing about Phil you always have. I have a feeling no matter what, and if even I don't give a fuck if Phil uses it against me. You didn't watch the whole thing. We'll be doing more of a skim through because a lot of this is Phil filler. We've talked about this before, where it's just he over explains everything. Like he could literally pour himself a bowl of cereal. If a drop of milk spills on the counter, he could make it like there was a tidal wave that came through his windows, and he had to swim through the waves to get back to his cornflakes. Anyway, let's go. Let me change the scene here. Almost forgot. There's Philip Burnell staring at us like the man that he is when he actually could still grow a goatee. What happened to his goatee, dude? Does he just maybe it's probably, you know what I think it is? It's just gray and he just cuts it shorter. That's all it is. But it looks, Sneeko is a loser. That's what you need to know. Okay, I don't care.
I see.
Right.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm just like, all I see is everyone talking like, who the fuck is Sneeko? And the thing about it, look, I've covered a bunch of drama before, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll admit it. But, I don't know, like, I would still cover, like, there's certain drama I'm genuinely interested in. I've talked about this before, but these, like, motherfuckers like Sneeko, like, not even a year from now, you never hear from them again. You still hear about Tickle Television. You still hear about Shane Dawson and stuff like those are kind of people I've Dr. Disrespect. Like these weird names just pop up and they're like a fart in the wind. As fast as you smell them, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? The quartering is still, I wouldn't say the quartering is a fart in the wind. Yeah, maybe he has low testosterone. Imagine Phil blowing Metal Jesus while Dreamcast Guy watches. What would like Dreamcast Guy be judging like the technique? Okay, Neil, I see you. But how did that even begin? Like, is that like how you get attention now? You have the threaten to shoot other YouTubers? Oh, here we go. We are on a good path.
King of
Correct.
hate.
Not the
Well,
king of hate. That's the thing.
It doesn't matter. You say the king, and you know that's what it was. So people are gonna make that connection.
You're 100% correct, and the thing is, I do need to try to fully.
I don't think the King of Hate moniker is that big of a deal. I genuinely don't. I just don't. It's how Phil handled it. That's the difference. It's how Phil handled it. Like he handled his manhood on May 1st, 2016. Oh.
And now I'm gonna masturbate. Phase it out. Feasting with the.
That's why I started. I'm like, I might as well try to bang out a chunk of this before it gets like. Actually, you know what? I think this interview is going to have legs, and it's going to haunt Phil for years to come. I don't think it's going to get old.
The King and Ask the King are two leftover shows or events that I do that have the King moniker in them that I probably should try to phase out or rename. But when you have things that have been running for so long, people actually have pushback. Like, don't change it. We love it. It's been like that for so long. Those are my true fans saying that, not my haters. You know. But you're right. I agree there. But
I'm gonna file if I was there interviewing Phil, which would never happen. I would be like, that's not a big deal. Who gives a fuck? He was called the King of Hate. Depends on how you handle the name. It's like on a scale of all the things that they have questioned Phil about, like this isn't even on the Philium fapping radar. That's just my take. Maybe other people think differently. It's a Phil remix of Beat It by... Oh, come on. Yes, I've heard of Cyrax. Love seeing you on Some Ordinary Podcast. Yeah, it was good to do because it got my mind off stuff. I almost canceled because that was like earlier on when things were happening with my daughter. But no, I'm glad I didn't.
But anyway, no. Yes, I try my best to reinvest. You know, there was...
How?
Well, like I just said, doing something above and beyond. I'm gonna.
Well, that doesn't cost any money though. You know, doing another stream, reacting. That's just making you more money.
But correct.
Why is this all fucked up? Is this just their connection?
Correct. But then the ordering of a giant meal that normally I wouldn't order. You know, I'm talking ordering 2 entrees and stuff, getting DoorDash. You're talking $50, $60.
You could tell by those nervous laughs. You guys hearing that kind of clicking? Maybe I'm 1:30:38. We'll just go back to it. It might just be the connection.
But anyway, no. Yes, I try my best to reinvest. You know.
Yeah, it's just the
How?
video.
Well, like I just said, doing something above and beyond. I'm gonna.
Well,
order...
Wait, I'll check it. Even better.
I got the drip. It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
Yeah,
so what do you want
it's
me to
just
do?
a stream.
Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear.
It doesn't cost any money though. You know, doing another stream, reacting. That's just making you more money.
But correct. But then the ordering of a giant meal that normally I wouldn't order.
Like, look, man, the DK Oldie stuff is expensive. Like, yeah, doing this could be expensive. But you don't do what I do, Phil. You've been using the same webcam and literally the same Windows 8 computer. Like, what is the most you've invested? The fucking pixel art in the background and the ring light? What is costing you $5,000 a month? That is $60,000 a year. You are just spending to keep DSP Gaming afloat? Dude, if you were doing reviews or you were doing, maybe I could see like I'm sure there's plenty of like God Linus Tech Tips. Could you imagine? Or even smaller YouTubers, man. I'm trying to think of a guy. He's like a few 100,000 subscribers, and he buys a whole bunch of like shit computers from Amazon that are gaming computers. I'm actually probably gonna rip off his idea. Just why am I even gonna try to sugarcoat it and do the same thing? But you ain't doing shit like that, Phil. You ain't buying and reviewing shit. You're not like I had to buy another GH5 camera for up here. Camelot is here. He has better titties than me, though. I can't compare to Camelot's titties. He could actually, they're like full of muscle and flex and they're oiled, and I haven't like observed them thoroughly or anything like that, so don't look at me like that. So thank you. Mr. Who's the Boss? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. He probably has to spend more in his channel in a month than I make in this channel an entire year. Especially if he has staff and shit. But what is Phil? He literally is sitting there probably using like a Logitech, what, C920? With an AT2020 microphone. And the most he's done is bought a ring light, LED lights, and pixel art. What are you spending? Look, I get the judge signed off on it, and it is what it is. But what the fuck could you even possibly be spending $5,000 a month on? You could write off part of your bills. You could write off part of your internet bill. You could write off part of your electric bill. Okay, you could write off the part of your house that you work out of. But that's it. Maybe I don't know. You're bizarre, Phil. Right now, that still just looks like he has the look of defeat in his face.
No, I'm talking ordering 2 entrees and stuff, getting DoorDash. You're talking 56.
The nervous laugh. The nervous laugh. The laugh of lies. It's not just Phil that does that, too. Are you trying to say that you ordering out meals that you're eating, which, okay, you're buying them for the show. It is actually a valid tax write-off. But it's not $5,000. What are you doing? You putting platinum flakes on top of your fucking quarter pounder? What are you doing?
$60 out of my pocket that
You eating fucking high-end black truffles like apples? What is going on? What's up?
I normally would not spend.
Abby.
You know, it's not budgeted, but because, you know, we did this special event. And I know, I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is, if you have these goals every day, where's the money going? Would you really like to know? Do you really want?
It's not honestly. It's not that we are asking. It's that I feel like the people out there that have been supporting you, that now have turned against you because they feel you lied to them, or
Yes, because you made guilting people about your poor financial situation the motivator for them to donate to you. That's why they put you to task about this. I am sure there are plenty of other streamers and YouTubers that just don't make it public, that have things that go on with family, that have things that go on like life issues, health issues, financial issues. But they know it's not their audience's problem. Even if you go to a 9-to-5 job, imagine complaining every day to everybody there about your financial situation. You probably would get fired. So you get the reason why, Phil, I know I'm repeating myself. You just put it out there, dude. And people dig because you talk about it. It's that simple. Case closed. Let's just all go home and go to sleep.
you saw them as dollar signs, and that's all that they were to you. Yeah, it's like, I feel like they want to know most.
Well, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute, right?
Set it up.
There was a, you went through bankruptcy, right? And that's pretty public. You went through bankruptcy, and there was this, the $5,000, business expense thing has been talked about by your detractors quite a bit. They say, what could you possibly be spending $5,000 on? Look,
especially with your setup, I could see if he had, like, I have Jay alone, he gets paid. He does good work. You ain't doing that, Phil. No one's editing your videos. No one's doing any of it. You're just turning on OBS every day with the same computer you've been using since Obama's been in office. And that's it. Oh my God, this guy, man.
Month that you are a streamer who streams, by your own schedule. You're active 12 hours a day doing this, right? And
Yeah, didn't he actually like Freudian slip? He writes off his whole mortgage. Oh, Phil, I hope that's a mistake that I'm saying right now that you didn't say that. Let's just say it's allegedly. Yes, Phil wants more for doing nothing different.
there's
And by your own admission, you said like you didn't fix the set at all. It's been just a shoddy set for most of your over a decade of doing this.
People are saying he's squirming. He kind of is.
right.
He's looking all over.
There's this whole what do your business expenses look like? I mean, I've done this for a long time. The business expenses are your initial cost of setting up your camera, your lights, and that's about it. And then after that, it's your cost
Internet
is your
bill?
time. Yeah, is your time, right? And so walk me through, what does that look like? What is it specifically? There's this $5,000 business expense every
Right.
month. So
Right.
what is this?
Yes. Philip Burnell is a man. Philip Burnell is a man. Philip Burnell is a man. I fucked up. Philip Burnell is a man. Philip Burnell is a man. Philip Burnell is a man. Philip Burnell is a man with an ass. Moore to Muda comment here. TSP Historical Society. I was just talking about the Super Nintendo going to J's. It's there. Thank fuck. All right. I'm streaming right now with my nipples out. Actually, they could go away soon. So yes, do that. Film that. Open it up. Open up my ass. Put an ad in it. Put an ad in my ass. Have DSP deny everything, and then talk about bubbles.
Okay, so first of all, we're talking about things that came out publicly during a bankruptcy proceeding, correct? And I believe
Okay.
that the $5,000 a month number came off of I believe it's from my a tax return. Is that correct? That it was filed or the data? I'm trying to remember exactly where it came from. You guys probably know more than me.
Maybe
because you've
Alex
probably been
Roberts.
inundated with this for 2 weeks.
No, all kidding aside, he's like, I don't have time to go to therapy. Okay, Phil. Just like I don't have time to go to the gym. Wings thinks that DSP is a serious gambling problem. I think he may be right. It would explain the spending and loans. Yeah. What a weird thing to be addicted to, too. It's like, what happened? Focus on the video. I could hold down the streaming. If you want to just show up as a guest for a little bit later, you could come on. But yeah, focus on the video, dude. It's there. Let's keep spreading our cheeks and going to town.
While
I
I'm so
don't.
far removed from this.
I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, it doesn't cost me money to be addicted to DSP. It actually makes me money, admittedly. But like I said, Phil, you do fascinate me. You entertain me for reasons that you don't want to entertain me for. But if you stop filming or stop streaming tomorrow, people would move on, dude. I don't want you to, though.
I think, again, I'm just speculating. I think what happened was when I filed for bankruptcy, a lot of information goes public. And so they look at a public filing. I guess there's certain information that's made public. I don't think it's all your tax returns. I think it's like 1 year's worth or something. And I guess there was a number that was thrown out there that it looks like Phil spends $5,000 a month on business expenses. Now, number one, I don't do my own taxes. I have a tax guy to do. I pay him to do it. Okay. Here's what I can tell you. All right. I can tell you right now, because I'm working on it right now for this year. What are considered expenses that a tax attorney wants to know you're spending every month? Geez. Your mortgage, because if you work from home, I guess that's part of it. I don't know. Again, I'm not a tax guy, but you call.
How do you not know that you can only write off the room that you work in, dude? That's like basic. Like people that don't even work for themselves and never have know that.
Cost of your mortgage, all of your utility bills that apply to you operating.
Here's why I'm pausing, because, hold on. I have a huge fucking booger in my nose. So, enjoy Phil and Oblivion. God damn. I have a tax guy. Seasonal employee at H&R Block. Alright, I think the booger's gone. We're safe. Jay's gonna lose his mind with the Lukey Games video. He's already, like, I could tell he's already lost his fucking mind. Well, that was the thing that, like, Onision, like, wrote off his wedding ring, his house. And he's like, I used TurboTax and they guaranteed I wouldn't get audited. Like, no, dude, it's just that when you put in numbers, TurboTax gives you back a calculation that will mitigate your risk. But if the IRS sees you writing off your entire fucking house, they're going to be like, what is this dude doing? Yeah, he's getting audited.
The business, correct?
Hold on, Phil, you've been doing this for 17 years and you don't know what your business expenses are? You don't.
That's a good question. I wonder how DSP tips when he's out and about. It's a good point. Andreas, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Digital, I almost missed you, bro. It's 4:42 a.m. and I see a large man with no shirt and birds. I've relaxed my taint and I've gone to town so hard I feel like Jay's cat will jump off the top rail like a WWE superstar, like it does every day. The cat has jumped to its death every day since he got the cat.
You don't know what you get tax write-offs on and stuff? I mean, like...
Specifically, no, I don't. I give it all. I pay him a lot of money to a tax guy. I have a giant, spreadsheet of data that I provide. They work it out because every year it's different. I get to feel the tax laws change and stuff, and they figure it out. I give them all the data. In fact, just got an email from a tax guy the other day. He's like, we still need this data for you for this year's tax filings. We need how much do you pay for utilities? What's your cost of internet this year? What's this? They need all that information, and I got to get them to, and then they do it. So here's the thing. All right. Everyone, we're really going to get to the meat of it, is this stupid WWE Champions bullshit, which I cannot wait to talk about it.
Well, okay? we'll get to that, but I want to stay on this for a minute. Like, just once again, walk me through this, because, like, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, and I'm trying to think through
while you're piecing it together, building that up. I just want to remind you, Phil, like you said at the beginning of this stream, you want this to be where people can go to finally, like,
yes,
you just go watch that video, right? Yes. I don't have to say it anymore. So correct. Like this, you said like
yeah, dude, I'm not a tax attorney too, but this is kind of like elementary. Can't write off your whole house, can't write off your whole mortgage, can't write off, like, you write off the square footage here, you write off the portion of the electricity you may use from here, the portion of the internet you may use. Actually, the portion is the majority where I am, but I wonder how many gigs upon gigs upon gigs I use every day of internet. Especially now, for the past couple years, I've been a daily live streamer. I can't even, holy fuck. But anyway, you get my point. Like, you're playing coy here. Is coy the right word? You're playing naive, Phil. You have to know some of this, dude. Come on.
What do we want to know? This isn't for us. This is for the people out there that are like, what about the $5,000 a month? You know, so, what about WWE Champion, which we'll get into? Like, what about these things? So it's like, this is your chance to now say, all right, it was the freaking business expenses, whatever. I mean, it was the mortgage, it was this. I don't know if that's actually considered a tax write-off. I don't want you to get in trouble, but I don't know. It just feels.
No, and see, that's the thing. Again, when I went into that bankruptcy, oh my God, that was the craziest rigmarole, because my tax attorney, excuse me,
That nervous laugh just always makes me raise an eyebrow.
not my tax attorney, I misspoke. My bankruptcy attorney had no idea what they were getting into with me being a public persona. And there were things you can do, I guess, to protect from online harassment, which they did. I tried to explain. They didn't really understand who I was or whatever. And so when all that went public, that was the most drama-filled bankruptcy hearing ever. The judge was inundated with thousands of messages from my haters about stuff.
That's not what they're asking you about, Phil. They're asking you about the $5,000 fucking dollars a month.
But anyway, look,
You have no employees. You're not buying any equipment. You're not buying any items to review. The most you're buying is games. What do you buy? Like 4 or 5 games a month? Even if you do, even if they're full price, $70. Let's give them the benefit of that. 7, 14, 21, $280 before taxes. What is it, like $310 after taxes, or $320? Still ain't adding up to $5,000 a month, Phil.
let me answer the question first, and then we can get to anything you want to talk about there. I would assume that the expenses are including everything that I do. Okay, that's related to the business, and that could include
Masturbation.
mortgage, any insurance that I'm paying that relates to the business, health insurance and or medical costs, legal costs, and that what I'm talking about is my tax attorney, but also other attorney and things that I've been involved in over the years, which maybe we will get into that today, or maybe we won't. I really can't talk too much about certain things. We'll get to that, about identity theft and stuff. I know it's the first time I ever mentioned that, you guys. So, among other things, all the normal things in a month. Like I said, utilities and all of that. It adds it up. Here it is. Here's my tax return. All of a sudden, I'm being accused that was a lie or something. All right, here's what I can say, because I'm not going to sit here and go back to a 2010 tax return and say, here's what my accountant said or whatever.
Yeah, and you're right, Jack Floyd, and he goes on these fucking monologues, dude. Like, who care? All right, dude, so there was drama around your tax return, like, no shit. Drama around your bankruptcy, no shit, I mean. Like, answer the question that Craig and Adam were asking.
Right.
This is from 2010. That's $5,000 a month.
Oh, excuse me. Did I say 2010? I meant 2020. That's totally my fault. I meant 2020. My bankruptcy was 2020. So I think the tax return that must be referenced is like 2019, something like that. Okay. Here's what I know. Because of the amount of trolling that happened to me, this judge,
fucking Tevin, that bastard,
that was involved in the bankruptcy hearing was attacked online with so much shit. I had to go into meeting after meeting with both my bankruptcy
Did you say beating after meeting?
attorney and this judge. Hours of work. We went through line.
Yeah, he would look like if Ricky Jarvis and Walter White were related. Has he thought about only Phil? This could be his own thought. He could make his subs feel small over $5 while he faps. Dude, he won't even do like a legitimate podcast for a $50,000 sign-on bonus. Do you think he's gonna jerk off on OnlyFans? Maybe he will. Maybe that's like another fetish of his.
Item by
Who's at
line
my
item of
fucking door
all
now?
of my expenses. I had to explain to a judge who has no idea what live streaming is, the entire concept of being a live streamer, and showing every single expense and line item and rationalizing what it was to my business. This is this, right? And it took so much work. At the end of the day, after all that extra work and time and money that had to be put into my bankruptcy,
He blames everything on everybody else. If he has a diarrhea shit, he is just like, fuck Tevin! It's Tevin's fault that he had mud pouring out of his ass. Phil blames,
it went through. The judge understood. I showed them everything. If anyone should see line item by line item what my business expenses are, it should probably be the judge who's going to make a ruling on if I should be granted bankruptcy or not, right? That's the government, a government representative, correct? They saw
representative? Why did you say it like you're AI, Phil? Maybe he is AI. Maybe maybe Phil is a failed AI experiment. That explains everything.
At all. They went through all of it, and at the end of the day, they said this all makes sense. Approved. And now I'm going to masturbate.
But in the vast majority of time, winners in bankruptcy experience like some sort of relief, right? Whatever the debt
Taxes post-nasal. Yeah, he spends over $4,000 on post-nasal drip treatment.
is that you're paying, it's gone, right? So why do you feel why do you have to go back to the well, going back to your audience, and ask your audience to crowdfund your content when you claim and you still say that nothing has
Because he always does. There was a video from 2015. That's the thing with Phil. Every year, the year before, if it was 2016, the best year Phil ever had was 2015. If it's 2018, the best year Phil ever had was 2017. But god damn it, something happened. Like there was a video, one of Phil's detractors was from Phil's channel, where it's this. I'll show it to you now. Yeah, we're never getting through any of this. Just deal with it. Jesus, I watched a lot of shit today. There it is. Look.
King of Hate vlogs, where I've had it now for 2 years and really relatively hasn't had much growth, all right? But when you look at what does the best on there, it's my podcast. My podcast, every time I do it, gets great views, and people always say we love the podcast because, you know, you get to finally talk about all these subjects. So ultimately, I got to look at what's successful, what people are asking for, and I have to listen to all this feedback and take it in. I'm also looking at other YouTube. But I'm not, and I want to emphasize this, I'm not going to be one of these YouTube commentators who every day puts out a video for drama purposes. This guy fucking said this, and now, what a fucking me. No, that's because that's garbage. That's garbage fluff content. And there's tons of YouTubers who do it. They put out fluff content every day for the sake of trying to stir up drama.
He doesn't fucking change at all. Yes, that I'm pretty sure that's the same AT 2020 that he's using now.
Well, I've seen YouTubers, it's a positive story. Oh, this game company is going to put out a collection of games. Well, they didn't include this one particular game that's my favorite, so fuck them. Stand there raging in front of the camera for fucking 15 minutes about some little insignificant thing. Looks like a little fucking sissy schoolgirl complaining about your personal gripes when the actual news story is a positive one. Don't ever expect to hear that from me, because that's not the kind of person I am. I'm going to want to add significant commentary to things that are going on in the gaming world and outside of the gaming world. So for those of you who like me as a person, yes, if you can believe it, there's actually a select group of people who actually like me as a person, despite all the slander and bullshit that's happened over the
Just take this video, take like 15 to 20 pounds off Phil, because he has lost weight. Okay? He's saying the same thing now. It's the same thing. And he needs support. And it... Oh, what detractor channel is this? What is it? Oh, wait, it's Philip Burnell's channel. Because he's Phil. How is he not aware that is mostly detractors watching his podcast? Because he's Phil. That's a great thumbnail, by the way. Phil looking like he's selling the cocaine down in Miami when Reagan was still in office. This has been bugged. It's pronounced Ricky Gervais. Not Jarvez, like Iron Man's computer. Gervais? Okay. How about I just call him Ricky? Let's just go with Ricky.
past several years. For those of you who are interested in that stuff, that's what the King of Hate Vlogs is going to become. Now, you're still going to have things like the weekend preview, like I said, DSP.
All right,
on these things that aren't just raw. He's doing a side quest, and he made good progress on it. There was some funny commentary. Why are there so many dislikes? Because it's this one viral group of people who, by the way, like to call themselves my critics. Yeah, because what does a critic do when someone puts out something that's fun and positive and people enjoy? They go say it sucks. Like with the Rockathon I just did.
He should just record. Like, Phil, take my TRDR pocket. I'll give you the more expensive blue one. And just record this and just play it every day, dude. You'll save yourself a lot of energy. You're doing a better expose than they did. They did a good job, man. They dug deep. Yeah, like, he never gets to the fucking point, too. Like, why do you were blah blah blah? So where do you need the support?
The vast majority of people who want to have to answer to these ridiculous accusations and have truths and things that are spun, because all I fucking care about is picking up this goddamn controller and playing games. That's it.
Let's just.
Has really changed
What's the difference between what he says right there and what he's saying now?
financially for you?
Great question. Thank you for asking it, because this is one of the ones I get hit with every
What do
day.
you mean Phil is a mod now?
We just talked about 2021 and what happened with Twitch. Okay, so the bankruptcy goes through around mid to late 2020. I'm relieved of all this revolving debt that I had in my name, but there's still debt that remains. There's still my mortgage. There's still my car payment.
Look up every year. Phil says the year before was great, but now he's in a pickle. He does it every fucking year almost.
There's still taxes, and taxes is a big thing, because for years there I was not able to pay my federal taxes properly, and
Well,
it came back to bite.
Years?
You couldn't pay them, or you didn't prepare to pay them properly. There's a difference. Because
I thought you hold on. I thought you said that you paid a guy to do your taxes.
I do, correct, to file the taxes.
Because I think the one thing that people need to understand is that you are acting as an independent contractor with YouTube and Twitch and whoever, right? So when you're paid, when somebody gives you $1 super chat, YouTube takes 30% of that, right? And so you get 70%. That 70% then needs to be taxed by Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam comes in and they take however much of that. So by the end of it, you could be getting anywhere between 50 cents of that or 35 cents of that, depending on what your revenue is for the year, and you're the tax brackets you're in. It sounds like, Bill, that you didn't necessarily plan accordingly for that, and you didn't save your money to ultimately pay. And if you have a tax person to do this, a CPA, which is for any online creator, that's like the number one expense is having a CPA to do your taxes. That's the number one thing, because going through and that's extremely important. But your tax, like, has your tax person ever came to you and said, hey, you should probably prepay your taxes. You should be paying quarterly instead of having one big lump sum at the end of the year, because seems really irresponsible for somebody who works online and has done so for 17 years to have a tax person who hasn't suggested that and haven't had you prepaid.
Do not, please. That my tax guy is great.
Okay.
He I have an estimate of what I should be paying, not even quarterly, monthly. Like, basically, can I make this monthly payment? And some months I can easily make it no problem, and other months I can't. I have to pay less, depending on the income that I made that month.
But that income is based off of your tax for that month is based, and your quarter and your year is based off of the revenue that you're making that month. So if you make $10,000 that month, then you're going to be, then you prepay whatever, $2,000 in taxes, however much it is, right? So the money is already in your account. So why would you have trouble spending? Why would you have trouble with that? I'm really having a hard time following this, because if you have the money, it's either being spent before it's time to pay taxes, or I don't know. I don't know. Please walk me through it.
Whew, okay. So I have two revenue streams. One revenue stream is very much daily income that I get from my viewers, meaning like tips, let's say. Okay, that's pretty much tips on a stream. The other revenue stream is the other income that I get from YouTube. That's ad revenue, super chats, memberships, and all of that. Okay. Daily I get tips, and that essentially is the money that I'm using day to day to pay some bills, go grocery shopping, buy a new game for the stream coming up, all that kind of stuff. The YouTube money that comes in behind the scenes is what I use to do all my ongoing recurring payments, my mortgage, my car, health insurance payment or whatever. Here's what's happened, okay? The bankruptcy happens. Great. End of 2020, things are looking up. I'm actually getting more popular on Twitch. I'm starting to make good money. I announced to my audience in early 2021, hey guys, guess what? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You guys are supporting me so much. The bank.
Every year, like I said, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and then something happens to dash that light. I am stoned, but it's not me just zoning out. I'm absorbing the philisms. And everyone always tells me to shut the fuck up once in a while. So, hey, look what I'm doing. I'm shutting the fuck up. But even if I know some people that pay once a year because it's just less of a pain in the ass and there's like a small penalty. Just make sure you have the money on the side, dude. But Phil didn't do that. If he got $10,000 in his bank account, Phil spent the entire $10,000. That was, oh wow, I could buy Chun-Li figures. No, Phil, you need to save some of that. No. Absorb Phil. Be his cum rag.
Good.
I don't know why I hit that, but
Your shoulders.
Bankruptcy went through. It's looking like if you keep this going this year, not only for the first year in many years, because now the bankruptcy's over with, now I can pay all my taxes properly for the first time in a long time. Because, my problem is we have that much debt and everything. You can't, I couldn't do it. It was my fault. I was in financial ruin. All right, 2021, things are looking up. And then what happens? They get me kicked out of the Twitch partner program. They shut down other revenue streams for me that I can't really talk about. Later on that year, identity theft, which we might not get to today. I don't know if we'll talk about that. That's a huge one. Identity
You clearly
theft,
want to talk about it.
And we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. It cost me so much money to fix the identity theft thing. So now I went from I'm good to, I immediately have lost a revenue stream from Twitch. I have to go to YouTube. I'm making way less money on YouTube now than I was on Twitch. All that money.
That took me more. That just sunk in even more. Absorb Phil, be his comrade. I'm putting this book, but I don't want this book. Whoever got me this book, thank you.
Money that was going to make everything even. I'm good to go now. It's gone again. I'm way reduced income again. So you're right. The taxes adjust now. Nothing else adjusted. My mortgage still exists. My car still exists. All those regular expenses still exist, and now I'm making way less. So this is a running pattern, and I hate this shit. Every time in life I feel like I'm getting ahead, something happens and screws me over. I'm serious. It's like a comedy of errors. It's ridiculous.
Once again,
But that's because you put yourself in that situation, Phil. I'm not saying the trolls going full psycho is right. They even get mad at me when I say the bank statement should be off limits, and they go, yeah, and they like put me on their shit list. I don't care. They could cry about it. But you blame dude, once in a while it's you, bro. The victim mentality shit. Not once in a while. You are your own worst enemy, Phil. That's it. Oh, every time I get ahead. Yeah, every time you get ahead, you fuck something up and screw yourself over. It was Tevin, yes. It was Tevin that told him when he was playing a VR game that if I knew that little girl, I would beat the shit out of her. I never said I would beat the shit out of a little girl. Dude, she said she was 11 years old, and you said if she talked to me like that in person, you'd beat the shit out of her. You absolutely did say it.
again, Phil, then why not remove all that shit and just do something different? I'm not telling you what to do, but like if you keep running into a wall, eventually you need to take a different direction, right? And like I love that you love what you're doing right now, but if you're still struggling with this, so
yeah, of course we all do. we none of us truly see ourselves as other people see us, whether it be appearance or personality or of course. But he is like, he looks in the mirror and he sees Brad Pitt with a 12-inch cock. Well, he's not that narcissistic. He's more so insecure, actually. Like Quantum TV thing, like he looks in the mirror and thinks he's a god. Phil just wants to prove that he's more important and successful than he actually is.
So immensely, at a certain point, don't you need to like self-reflect and say like, look, man, I'm running into this wall fucking 5 times. I should probably not be doing this or change my approach to it.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. And like I said, I had that conversation with my mom in 2019 about changing it and, you know, not be beholden to people, do something different with my life. I mean, yeah, let's be honest.
Every job you're beholden to people. Retail or not retail, entertainment or not, you're always beholden to people. Phil should have just gotten a 2-bedroom apartment or shouldn't have moved. Cat doesn't need... Yeah, like, dude, he could have stayed in that condo and he would have been just fine.
A major factor is money. Have to be honest here, right? That's what this is about. I'm going to be transparent.
Major factor. I mean, it sounds like it is the factor. I mean, it's
stupid life mechanics. Yeah, it's dude. Tevin ruins everything for him. Tevin's a criminal.
It sounds like you're just spending the money as it coming in instead of saving and preparing for the next month, where it might not be.
I thought he wasn't paying for that condo. It finally went into foreclosure. Dude, he's such an idiot. If he really is still paying for that condo, I mean, he's a fucking... Not single, he's married now. He's married and has a cat. What would have not worked in that condo? What? You weren't living in the hood, Phil. Oh, it was a bad area. Dude, I've lived in bad areas anyway. You were doing all right.
As profitable.
He foreclosed, is what I thought.
So that you could be like, I'm saving. Maybe I'm not going to buy that new game. Maybe even though it's probably a write-off because you're doing it for a business, doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, it seems like you just got to start saving money. Maybe be a little smarter for the future. I mean, I'm not trying to like lecture you.
No,
on
you're
money,
right.
But
you were
it
right.
seems like you need it. So
yeah, I need what I need. And I've said this before. I'll just say.
Oh, Phil is such a paper tiger too. He was saying, I had all this stuff to say about them. So if they were pissing you off that much, Phil, why didn't you say it? If you have all this dirt. Don't be a paper tiger, dude.
It.
Sure, Phil.
I need like a year. And here's what I mean by that. I need 1 year to make content and not have my trolls fuck with my income.
it's never going to happen.
I agree
Never.
with you.
I don't know when yet, man. I mean, as much as I'm very happy that my daughter is doing better, she's still in the hospital. So I don't want to promise big shit, you know, and if something, God forbid, comes up, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's married and has a cat, which he could have easily stayed in that condo in Connecticut, which seemed perfectly fine. Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
I now agree with you. I know that now.
I really think Phil also, because he is a fairly delusional guy, can we all agree on that? I think he thought like everything was always going to stay the same on YouTube. Like it was always going to be 2013 for Phil. I think that's when he peaked, right? Oh, she's going to be okay, man. She's going to be okay, my daughter. But I'm just saying, I don't want to promise anything, and if, you know, something comes up.
But that's what's happened is every time something happens, that screws my income again. Well, wait, here we go. I worked my ass off. I changed who I am. I'm a different kind of content creator. All the things that they had issue with me. This is why they do it to me right there. We don't like Phil for this. Okay, I'll change all of that. Nope, still do it anyway. Ruin his income.
So why change? Why change? What's the point?
Yeah.
It's not doing anything. Why wouldn't you just stay the person that you were and that you are or whatever, instead of like trying to like adhere to people on the internet? Because the people on the internet are gonna hate the haters are gonna hate. Like, who fucking cares? So what's the point? You're doing it for nothing.
I agree. I understand what you're saying.
No, yeah, they're mixing wires here, or crossing wires. The problem with Phil is that he doesn't adapt to the times. Like I said to you, Phil, like I just said 2 minutes ago, Phil would love if things were still like, and he could just point. If he could get away with it, I know I said this the other day too. Repeat myself, USA. If he could just point a camera at the screen and still make the bank he used to, don't tell me he wouldn't still be doing it. Absolutely would still be doing it. Phil did not want to evolve. He didn't want to change. He didn't want to grow. He didn't want to get the hint. Like, yeah, we've done a little bit of news recently, but mostly we've been doing high production value stuff. Because it was time. People just weren't as interested in the news anymore. At least for me. So you move on to something else, and it worked.
At the same time, I feel like that a lot of the change.
Yeah, you gotta change. You gotta change. Imagine I was still talking over gameplay. I wouldn't be doing this now. I'd be somewhere else. It'd be done.
Just have been very productive. I like I said, now I love what I do for a living. I didn't before. I do now. I actually genuinely want to be here every day with my audience. It's fun. I wake up in the morning energized, ready to go. I used to wake up in the morning like, oh.
Optimus does. Some people it works. I brought it back for a little bit this year because after like my family had COVID, I had to stay somewhere else. We used gameplay. Like, oh, maybe we'll stick to it for a bit. And I was like, it's over. Let's not. We're trying to revive a very dead horse. You know. So no, doesn't work for me.
I gotta go play games and film again. That was a horrible mentality. Who wants? I treated it like any other job. Now I love it for the last 4 or 5 years. But, I hear you. But yeah, if I were to quit YouTube, let's say right now, cold turkey, I quit YouTube.
Cold turkey.
I can't find a job out there that's going to pay what I'm doing now. In addition to that, there's always the factor that I've been out of the job market for a decade. Who's going to hire a 40-year-old guy that hasn't done anything besides, operate an online streaming business for 10 years?
Nobody with that attitude, though. So it seems like you're already defeated, not even worth trying. So.
And I'm not complaining, man. My shit does okay. Through my streams and my videos, things have been good. But let me hear that again to let it sink in more. 140.
Whatever, instead of like trying to like adhere.
Oh yeah, he was talking about his mindset. That's why he wouldn't be able to. No, they wouldn't hire you. If you had it in a resume and said you were on YouTube dude, I edited a resume. Not that I wouldn't try, and I'm sure I'd be able to find something eventually. But you're not going to tell me it won't be an uphill battle because someone's going to look at your resume and be like, wait, the last time you worked a real job was in 2013, and what did you do? You got shirtless and kissed porcelain birds on stream? Yeah, no thank you. Like, that's not having a gee golly negative attitude. That's just life, son. You like, they would just be like, get the fuck out of here. Eclipsal, thank you very much for becoming a member. You know what I'm saying? So that's like Phil. That actually is Phil not being delusional for a second. That is just real. Am I beyond working a real job? No, absolutely not. I would look in a heartbeat if I had to. But it's just the fact.
Right up my ass, baby. I love it.
I didn't mean to hit that. It's just the reality of it is that employers would just be like, nah, dude, you haven't sat in a cubicle for fucking a decade. What the fuck are we gonna do with you? Which I don't really understand, but that's just how it is. He means I prefer to e-bag than make a living. Oh, that is true too. Phil turns down an offer for 50K sign-on bonus. Like, all right, even if the podcast fails, Phil, you got the 50K sign-on. Even after taxes, you get to keep like 30-ish, maybe a little less. It's a lot of money. Keep you from living day to day. You have a $20,000 buffer. You know? Any job would literally just Google his name. Yes. And within a minute do a background check, would see his fat face. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, even if you get the job, like, and again, it's not that I'm like, I'm doing okay on YouTube, so it's not that I'm making excuses for anything. I'm doing fine. But I'm saying, even Boogie, you know, like, yeah, he should look for a job. I agree, but here's the thing. I think he has a felony, doesn't he? Even though he didn't have to do jail time, I'm pretty sure. And even if he doesn't, what are employers going to do? The first thing they're going to fucking do is look into him, and they're going to see this motherfucker fired a gun into the air. He had a nervous breakdown on a live stream, ripping off his shirt. He did this, and Boogie, I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying, like, you could find all that shit within like 10 minutes. So even if you get the job, congratulations, you're employed for maybe a week. Boogie's charges were thrown out. Doesn't matter though. That's great. He doesn't have a felony. But you don't think employers will see that when they look him up? So that's the thing. I'm sure there would be a job that wouldn't care, but between regular employers basically looking at it, even though you were making a living, that you were unemployed, and then like Boogie's detractors and Phil's detractors probably trying to get them fired within 72 hours of them being hired. Yeah, like the whole get a job thing, have no problem with it. Don't think I'm above it. I can't speak for Boogie or Phil. It's not as easy for a YouTuber as you think it would be.
To people.
Didn't Wings get... No, not even DoorDash or Uber. Didn't they get Wings fired from one of those things? That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like, once you're a YouTuber, man, you better, like, you're never going to be on top forever. Like, my channel is on an uptick, a fairly substantial uptick, because people are liking the DK oldie stuff and our more higher production value stuff. But I'm not, like, I would say, I hate to say it, I think ReviewTechUSA peaked maybe in 2018. But I forgot the point I was making because the other two edibles I ate just kicked in. Uncle struggles to find work. He has been arrested for false domestic violence allegations. Never convicted, but there's... he's never been convicted. That's it. All someone has to see with Boogie, that is a perfect example, Michael Cortez. All someone has to see is Boogie is that he fired an actual bullet into the air. Like, that's what a lot of, like, people, just get a job. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely, there is nothing wrong with getting a job. I personally, like I said, am not above getting a normal job if I had to, but the reality of it is, for a YouTuber, doesn't matter if you could be Linus Tech Tips. Say, God forbid, something happened where he went bankrupt for some reason and he had to go work at Best Buy at Geek Squad. That would be the strangest thing ever. Like, it would be tough for him to do it because I'm sure there are people that hate Linus for some reason. And they would probably call Best Buy and get him fired. It's just how it is. So for those of you who just think, YouTubers are too lazy to get a job, I'm not. And there's many others that aren't. But it ain't that easy. What did I thank God for? I don't even know. I'm out of my mind, man.
People on the internet. Because the people on the internet are going to hate. The haters are going to hate. Like, who fucking cares? So what's the point? You're doing it for nothing.
I agree. I understand what you're saying. At the same time, I feel like that a lot of the changes have been very productive. I like I said, now I love what I do for a living. I didn't before. I do now. I actually genuinely want to be here every day with my audience. It's fun. I wake up in the morning energized, ready to go. I used to wake up in the morning like, oh, I gotta go play games and film again. That was a horrible mentality. Who wants, I treated it like any other job. Now I love it for the last 4 or 5 years. But
And then you watch a video from 2015. He's still the same way as he is. He's just skinnier, and he has less facial hair.
I hear you. But yeah, if I were to quit YouTube, let's say right now, cold turkey, I quit YouTube.
No, he would get fired from McDonald's too. I'm telling you, 100%. Especially in 2023, all they got to do, doesn't matter. It was 12 years ago. Is see the thing he did with Dead Space 2 on Blip TV. Gone. Doesn't matter. Starbucks. Doesn't matter if he works for another tremendous helicopter company.
YouTube.
Gone. Done.
I can't find a job out there that's going to pay what I'm doing now. In addition to that, there's always the factor that I've been out of the job market for a decade. Who's going to hire a 40-year-old guy that hasn't done anything besides, operate an online streaming business for 10 years?
Nobody with that attitude, though. So it's
Nah, I didn't know I went into the whole spiel about him saying
seems
that.
like you're already defeated, not even worth trying. So you're putting yourself in this hamster wheel that Craig was mentioning earlier. It's just like there's no option. This is it. So I have to grind. I have to do this.
Yes, he does make excuses for everything. That I agree with.
And that sounds miserable to me. Even though you say you're having fun, it seems like you're just trying to convince yourself that instead.
Yes.
DSP can always use his May 1st, 2016 talents to do nutface porn for the Beautiful Agony website. I also want boobies and breasts war.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Boobies, breasts, 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 breasts.
I went a little overboard. Just a little bit.
Actually,
it might be true. It might be true, but these two things could be true also. I'm just pointing that out, what I'm seeing.
And I just like to kind of continue on with that, right? The idea of like, do you have a business plan? Do you have what it looks like what your business looks like in a month from now? Do you have a business plan for a year from now? You have a tax guy who runs your numbers, but are you saving money? Because it doesn't sound like you are, because
No, he's not saving a fucking penny.
Just based off what you're saying, and it very much sounds like you're going to be doing this when you're 60, right? And if you
I'm telling you though, it'll work out in his favor in that point. But again, Phil is his own. Like, say a network came up to him, making it with who wanted to make like a reality show called The 60-Year-Old Streamer. Phil would turn it down for some stupid fucking reason. Mark my words, he would absolutely turn it down.
you want to be doing it when you're 60, that's fine. But this doesn't seem very forward thinking. When you seem like you're living day to day as opposed to thinking about long term. And dude, you're 40 years old, and at a certain point, you got to look at things and say, like, well, do I want to be doing that? Like, will I ever have enough money to retire? Will I ever have enough money to not do this? So walk me through that. Walk us through that. The idea of like, and it's okay to say you don't have a business plan. It's okay. It's like, we're putting it all on the table here, Phil. And if you don't, that's fine.
Oh God, yeah. I know you're trolling, but yes, of course. Even and the thing is too, even if I explain that the troll themselves, Review China, admitted that he paid someone on like Fiverr to read a script, the companies don't care. All they care about is like, wow, we don't want your drama, even though you did nothing, even if it wasn't your fault. Yeah. Welcome to trying to be employed in 2023.
Just kind of walk me through it, man.
Currently, do I have a business plan? No. Have I had business plans in the past? Yes.
And the trolls have ruined them all. I think I remember seeing this part. Yes, he's going to blame his business plans being ruined on the trolls. Wait for it.
And every single one of them has been destroyed by my income being ruined over and over. You know, to have a plan, a long-term plan, you have to know at least what the stability is going to be today and depend on a little bit of that stability. And it sucks. Like Adam said, YouTube, Twitch, any kind of online content creation is a constantly fluctuating thing. Tomorrow, everything could be turned off for all of us. We can't even stream, right? It could be a new law that says we can't do it anymore, in which case then I guess I am boned and I got to go out there and get an offline job, right? But how can I lay out a business plan when every month is different, when it looks like there's consistency to my life? Oh, here's what I'm making every month. That's exactly what was happening in 2021. There was a series of months, like the first 3 months and 4 months of the year. Things were going great. I had a business plan. Here's what I want to do. Let's do this for a certain amount of years. Let's expand. Let's improve this.
Here we go.
Let's try new things. Let's do this. And then if it keeps going.
Yeah, I don't know. Who the fucking... Who is Pescatori? This is your favorite victim part? I just see the check mark in the gray box.
You get to the next stage of the business plan, right? And what happens? I lose my
Don't like people sell their Steam accounts?
partnership, identity theft, income's destroyed. Now what do I do? Business plan's gone. So how can I set a plan when these people won't allow me to even have any level of stability in my life for even a few months?
You know what you do?
Stuff that they're doing.
You make another business plan. You move forward.
Yep. When you see something's not working, you change.
That's what you do.
Like I mean, I don't.
What choice do you have?
Right.
The only choice is to make a new one and continue
Who's
moving
streaming
forward.
on Twitch?
I
Like,
agree.
like-
I will not be beaten by
I love Arcus. He's like the ASMR of NES speedrunner. I could watch that fucking guy all day.
these people. You know,
It's what you just said sounded like you were.
oh
Like
no,
you have been
absolutely
over and
not.
over again.
One of the
I'm
major
letting you
things-
know. I'm letting you know what you what you had just finished with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a business. He asked what your business plan is. He was like, I had a business plan, but they kept shitting all over it. Like that was your response.
It is easier said than done, JoJo. Like, if I could talk today. I just sounded like Phil. It's not easy. It's a risk, too. Like, doing the videos, like the DK Oldies video and all those other higher production value videos, which all, thank God, did well, was a risk. I mean, we kind of knew they were going to do well, but if they didn't, we also thought the Game Boy video was going to do 6-figure views at least. That didn't happen. Yes, Pescatori, I agree. I agree. He wants to convince them of his delusion is reality. Yeah, I think the Game Boy video is great, but it didn't hit a chord with anybody. Everyone was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this. So my point being is that, yeah, it's a risk, but you got to do it if it's not working. That's why Phil begs. It's not working for him, so he has to squeeze as much. He has to milk the udders of his small audience as much as possible to squeeze every penny out of them.
Breasts.
If DSP thinks he is above getting a 9-to-5 job, then I will be above him taking a shit on his face. Also need cucumber war.
You're going to get a fart with that because that was an excellent comment.
Cucumbers.
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 Breasts.
See, I mixed it up. Yeah, Adam is like, nah, he's not having any of this. What happened with him and Tim Pool? He I heard he insinuated something about money, apparently.
Instead of this is my business plan, right? You
Unless I heard him
don't
wrong.
have a future vision. I think that's what
Oh,
Craig
I
was
do.
going
Okay,
for.
okay. I spoke. I do have a future vision. The problem is, if I fully explain it, they're going to try to ruin it. You understand?
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I should have said that. I'm sorry about that. Like, do I have an idea of what I'd like to do? Yes. I know exactly. Actually, I have steps in place to know exactly what I can do to try to fix my situation. I don't want to
That
listen.
sounds good.
I don't want to be here on stream every day saying to people, toss me a few bucks. Oh my God, that's the worst feeling every time I effing do it. I don't want to say, hey, tip me, do this, do that. That's obnoxious. I just want to play games and chill with my audience.
He's always done that.
Entertain you in the future, please go to my partner channel.
He looks like Curly from the Three Stooges.
King of Hate HD and click on the ads that show up on the videos there, because hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, that actually starts giving me some money back for what I'm doing. I mean, it's
There's another one too. I think this is
saying that a regular click activity on your video, and their detractors will forever, with no justification. They just decided to do that. A bunch of cocksuckers.
here.
But I mean, YouTube has been a bunch of cocksuckers for a long time. Rate and participate does not mean click on ads, but people interpret it as they want. I crunched some numbers. I tried to figure some stuff out, and basically, realistically, I could probably make this work and be that I just make videos for YouTube as a job. It being that I don't have a full-time job taking up 8 hours a day, you know.
Why does Phil look like he's trying to be in a rap video from Mobb Deep from 1998?
Actually, really, it was more like 10 to 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. And having that time out of work on my videos, and my gameplay and other things, I might be able to make it work. And here's how. It's not going to be based off of selling any product. It's basically going to be based off of my partner channel, which is this channel, the King of Hate HD.
Watch what so he straight up said it one time, and he's going to do it again.
And basically how much you guys participate with this channel, if you know what I mean. I'm not allowed to come out and just say, you know, how you can do that, but anyone who's accustomed to YouTube and how the partner channels work, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Negative shit about me. But keep after 8 years, please keep propagating the same bullshit that people have said for 8 years that has no factual basis, because, you know, it makes you seem very intelligent to just keep saying the same bullshit over and over. Please go to my partner channel, the King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up on the video.
But he never said it. But my point being, he makes it like, oh, I hate doing this now. I hate begging. Dude, you've basically been essentially doing it since before you even did this as a full-time job. Oh, man.
And this is the funny part that my detractors will never mention. Before my income...
This is why, Phil, if I was there, the best thing that happened to you, Craig, is me flaking out being part of the show. Because if I was a co-host on this show, this would have never happened.
Kept getting screwed over all these different times by them and by my choices. It's not just them, it's also my bad.
Yeah, Pescator, his relationship with his wife must be so strange. I'm not going into, like, personal, I don't care about that, but I'm just saying, like, how could he's still Phil when the camera's off. The camera was off the whole time. No, it was on, actually. But, it can't be normal. It just can't be.
Choices that did this. I never had any kind of crowdfunding. It was always just Phil's making a living on YouTube via ad revenue. I had no sponsors. I didn't take any money, extra money from anywhere. I wasn't asking my fans for crowdfunding. Everyone else was. I wasn't doing it. It wasn't until the revenue started to get hurt by that I decided to do crowdfunding, because everyone told me to do it, right? Now, my income's ruined over and over by these people, and what's their number one critique of me? You beg too much. I wouldn't beg if you didn't keep messing with my income.
Dude, again, I just showed video evidence. You have been begging since the beginning. Stop blaming other people for your mistakes. Your breasts bake.
The only reason I have to...
They are basically roommates that split the bills. Him and his wife. Look, I don't want to, like, how do people know that? Like, are you breaking into, like, a security cameras? Not saying you. I'm just saying in general. Like, I don't want to go there. You know? I kind of joke, like, doing a parody of how it might be. But I just can't picture Phil being a different person off of these streams. I just can't picture it.
That's
You
weird.
keep ruining my financial income. You keep ruining it for me. So
Beg-
how can I
begging-
have? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Phil. Begging for money is never a good look for anyone.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
Must have been a powerful dump, man.
I can't dispute it.
Well,
It's indisputable.
okay, then look, we all established, look, the idea of like going on stream and saying, I really need help for these taxes. I really need help for whatever. I got a big thing coming up. Trav, can you please?
The crux is of his detracting today is that for a living he does what normal people who grind 9 to 5 to be able to do, gaming, makes more than they do, then come and ask them for more because it's not enough. Yeah, pretty much.
Please kill it with the chats, please. The biggest thing, and people asking, is this live? Yes, this is live, right? Of course, this is live. You had an opportunity with Keemstar and Drama Alert to go on there for it was $50,000 was being offered to you to go on this podcast, right? $50K. Why not do that? Like that's a giant amount of money. And yes, there's taxes attached to that. It's after it's all said and done, it's probably $30K, right? But why not just say, okay, I'll take your money and I'll spend a couple hours on your podcast. And that would clear up so much of your financial burden.
30 grand is a hell of a buffer if there's a rainy day.
Okay. Keemstar story. Here we go.
Well, no, just answer that question. I don't want to hear the story. I just want to know, like, why would you not take 50K?
Because that's not what happened. You've been told a story that's not true. I have to tell you what actually happened.
Please.
So there's a history with Keemstar where, over the years, this guy's a horrible reputation on YouTube. Everyone knows it. I'm not going to crap on the guy here, but just go look on YouTube. You'll find out all about him and the things he said and did to people and things.
Dude, you weren't going to become a mule for the Sinaloa cartel. You were going to do a show with Keemstar. Please fucking stop. Phil, you are fucking Jesus in your own mind, man.
Over the internet. I've had a little bit of history with him. But not a lot, And basically, he had been pretty nasty to me a few times, tweets and things like that. What it is people will ask me something on a stream. What do you think of Keemstar? And I'll be like, it's not just Keemstar. It's a lot of guys. I don't like these drama YouTubers. I call them misery brokers. Okay? What they do is, if you have a bad day, they're having a good one because you had a bad day. What kind of content is that? To me, I feel that's the worst kind of content.
Yeah, dude. All right, enough with the music. It's annoying me now. Pescatore, yeah, and here is the thing, man. Like, there are certain people, like, flat out, I wouldn't piss on fire to put them out, let alone work with them. But no matter what business you're in, you're gonna have to work with people that, at best, you're not a fan of. And that's outside of this shit. So you're gonna miss out on a business opportunity because you don't like Keemstar? You'll probably barely have to see the fucking guy. Just do the show, take the check, and shut up. It's not like he's telling you to do an OnlyFans where you have to suck your own cock, Phil. What? Yeah. It's just like, dude, you're going to have to work with people that you don't are. I'm sure there's plenty of people that tolerate me who, if they didn't have to tolerate me, they wouldn't. I'll admit it. I'm a fucking asshole. But so what? Just dude, like, just hustle, man. But that's the thing about Phil. He just shoots himself in the foot. That's what I'm saying. I could totally picture if he's in his 60s doing this still, like a network coming up to him being like, dude, this is incredible. This guy is still fucking begging for tips playing video games at 60-something years old. He would probably turn down the offer. Because he's Phil. That's why.
You're benefiting from someone else's personal drama and misery. Keemstar's definitely one of those people in my eyes. You can disagree. No,
I wouldn't work with Quantum TV. He's a bigoted piece of shit. Gonna get canceled for 50K. Work with it. That is a different level of shit. There's an example of, yeah, that's where it's a line I wouldn't cross. But
it's okay. That's what I think of the guy. Okay. So I said this one day casually. He starts insulting me and everything on the internet.
Rich, for 30 grand, would you work with the leader of the Ku Klux Klan? No.
So we have a little bit of bad blood there. Okay. All of a sudden,
So what?
earlier, it was last year. Okay. Unbeknownst to me, people start telling me Phil Keemstar is trying to contact you. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I have a public. Craig knows. Craig emailed me. I have a public email. If you want to talk to me, contact me. Let's talk. Let's figure out. It's a business relationship. No email. Nothing. Okay.
So what? Billion different ways to contact people in social media, man. Gives a shit.
He's sitting on his Twitter and he's making.
Why Twitter? Twitter. We're getting that. No, fuck that, man. This is too real. Dude, why are you doing this to me, Phil? Why is he overpronounced the T's? What other word did he do that with before? Twitter? Why can't you parse the fucking link, dude? Ah, come on, son. All right, I'll take the link from up here. Sometimes that works. Come on, I just want Twitter. Yeah, it's taking a while. Ah! Twitter. Twitter it is. Birds have breasts, they have very nice breasts. They have breasts right on their chest, and birds have breasts. Twitter. Oh, it's not done. I was thinking like, am I just stoned right now and I'm not paying attention? Like, no, it has to process it still. We'll get back to it later. We'll get Twitter later. See, I'm gonna forget though. If I forget, I forget. Fuck it. I'm having an argument with myself. I need to go to sleep.
Someone tell Darkseid Far I want to talk to him right now. Contact him. Tell him I need to talk to him. There's $50,000 on the table and he needs to contact me right now. Is that, first of all, is that how you start a business relationship? Is you scream on your Twitter to have someone come talk to you? If he has something to offer me, should he not contact me? So I only know about this because people come to my stream to tell me about it. Okay.
So to answer your question, I think that in a traditional environment, no, that's not how you start a relationship. When you deal in the space that
EDP 445 is, he's back every fucking week. What platform is he on now?
Keemstar does, and kind of the drama, like look at me space. Yes, that is how you would start it, because you throw out $50,000 on Twitter, people go, whoa,
and it builds up hype for it. You can hate Keemstar as much as you want to. He's an excellent hype man with a long ass beard, but and he fed Foozy Tube cheese. I'll never get over that. Yo, I just went to the deli. I got all this cheese. Check out my cheese. All right. Well, you know what? That's cheese.
I want to get this attached. So is traditionally no, but we're not dealing with Coca-Cola. We're dealing with Keemstar, right? And that's what he does for a living. So he wants to put eyes on his product and drive interest. So I would say, yeah, he did do it the right way in his world, in his interest.
It's the same thing as the people making this is how you don't play a video game. It's the same shit. They're using your, I don't know, for lack of a better word, clout to make content, and it works. So Keem did it, and you're doing that same thing. You're bitter that he's not approaching you respectfully. You if he actually wants to get you on his stream or whatnot, he maybe should have reached out to you, but he's basically using you. It's like the right thing
Correct.
would be is to use him back.
100%. So yeah,
Right.
like,
Instead of getting all upset.
Right. And if there's 50 grand on the table,
put the pride aside, dude. There's not even. It's not even pride. Like, you're just being an idiot. Like, you're just being too prideful. You're being narcissistic. Like, what's the big deal? Because it's called the Lol Cow podcast. Yeah, he's basically said that. I don't want to be considered a lol cow. Phil, too late. Wait, what is my editor saying to me?
So slight delay because I realized I don't have a fucking Super Nintendo game. So I'm setting up set. I'm gonna film it today.
Okay. I'll listen to that later.
what better way? There's no way he's going to make 50 grand back off an interview with you. Like, why don't you just take it, cash the check, and then you're golden?
Okay.
Or even if it's 10 grand, even if it's 5 grand, even if it's $1,000, like, why not just be like, yeah, I'll take it. Sure.
Okay, let's continue because this isn't what happened actually.
Please.
It wasn't an interview.
So explain that part, because
It was the Lol Cow podcast.
I just want to know about that. Like you said, that's not what happened. So what did happen?
Correct. So eventually, I had to DM him on Twitter to even get his attention because he wouldn't contact me. I learned it from drama on my stream. Everyone's drawn up drama on my stream. Keem wants to talk to you. So I DM him, and he's like, call me right now. I was like, I can't. Just tell me, what is this about? I'm streaming. I'm busy. Just let me know what this is about. So I'm serious. I had to go back and forth with this guy so many times for him to just.
Bro, if someone legitimately hit me up and said, yo, I'll give you a $50,000 sign-on bonus if I was interested in what the product was to do a show. I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I'll be back. I don't have a fucking schedule anyway.
Tell me in a DM, what I'm interested in is I want to do a show with you. I want you to host a show. This was not an interview for 2 hours. This was some kind of like a big project he wanted to be involved in. I don't know exactly what. Let me explain. So he says, but I don't want to talk about it in a DM. We got to have a phone call. I'm like, okay, that's reasonable, right? Let's have a phone call. Here's my number. Here's when to call me. I'm available at these times of the day. Okay. I wait. The call never comes. It's been like 2 days. The call never comes. Maybe he's not serious about it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in this guy's
There
head.
has to be. I'll look at that
All of a
later.
sudden, I'm on streams. He starts calling me when I'm on streams. I'm like, is he? I don't know what's going on again. So I DM him after the fact. I'm like, hey, you want to? So basically, it's like stupid telephone phone tag. The guy won't even contact me to talk about what he wants to offer me when I'm available, right? So at that point, I'm like, let me figure out what this is. And I talked to my wife about it. And we sat down. I was like, sounds to me like he wants me involved in a project. I don't know what it is. And my wife says, you know about him, right? I was like, of course I know about him. Everyone knows about Keemstar. And we talked about it seriously. And we're like, right now, $50,000, if this was real, would be hugely helpful for us. It would put us, back, jump ahead, almost square one, I would say, with all the things that are going on financially behind the scenes. And, when at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for the business. You got to do what's best for everything. Everyone's good interest. And if this were someone who I felt had like my best interest in mind, or possibly had the history that he has, I probably would have done it, But this is a guy who has a history of online. He gets you involved in something, and then everything he does is for his own personal gain, and it doesn't matter how much he hurts you, as long as he's still benefiting from it. Okay? There was no offer to me of being on an interview for $50,000. That's a lie. Right?
So what? Okay, and I'm just for if
He did turn it into a 9 to 5.
it sounds like there's miscommunication here,
Yes.
right? If we were to get Keemstar on the show right now, and kind of walk through this, because I'm very intrigued by this, right? I want to know more about this project. Would you be open to that?
Absolutely not. Not after all the stuff that happened after that.
Okay, so you would not be open to talking to him right now?
I'm never going to do business with Keemstar. Not after the things I now know about him and the other things that he said and done. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Which he knows things about him from like biographies and detractor videos, which he admittedly says he hates when people judge him on those things. Phil is amazing.
Okay. Then I'll delete my tweet that I was about to send asking Keemstar to come on the show. I didn't send a tweet out, just so you know. I was going to.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You could say it's a difference between short-term gain and long view, right? I feel like having any association with that guy in the long term is just going to hurt rather than help. I feel like it's going to be even more trolls, more toxicity towards me than I already have, because...
Why toxicity? Why is he speaking like that? Do I have my jaws hitting? Yes, I do.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I don't have the sweet taste of ass, but I do have...
You take the bubbles and shut them up your fucking ass. How about that?
That's actually a pretty good substitute.
I've seen documentaries on this guy. It's factual evidence that he creates...
I don't want to worry about... I don't want to talk about Keemstar.
Yeah,
I want to say you should use that mentality towards money. It seems like, you're holding him on that, but instead in your own world, I'm just saying it's just going to help you out. I feel weird because it feels like I'm like lecturing you, but I'm just like, I'm the type of person, my friends called me an honest asshole, and I'm cool with it. Like,
yeah, but DSP is also like a kid. Yes, we'll eventually get... I don't know how much longer I'm streaming right now. I'm probably gonna take a break and then come back later this evening, like for the normal stream.
DSP has had a tough life having his mother comb his hair until 16. Rolling dough in the early days of YouTube. Dating his fangirls. Dad Bird Rich offering a PC with ulterior motives, etc.
Yeah, I know. My evil ulterior motives of just wanting to get the PC out of the house.
I don't mind. I'm brunt. I'm...
Yeah, he's realistically like a 21-year-old. Valid point. Yeah.
Freaking vicious sometimes, and it just...
Yeah, me
just
too,
seems,
Danny.
You're being really raw here, and honestly, props to that. So...
Yeah, major props, for sure.
This is who I am, so I just feels like...
No, I'm taking no offense from anything, and I appreciate all of the input. I really do. Having conversations like this can only help.
Well, so how do you square the idea?
You didn't think that later. All right, look, man. Yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'll probably come back after dinner. I'll answer this last super chat because I kind of feel myself crashing right now. And with my children not here for the next couple days, I'm going to catch up on some rest so I could do some other things. So I'll be back around 7:38 tonight. And I'm going to go chill for a little bit. I once had a dream where Phil and Pat were brothers and showed up at my house. Like Pat the NES punk was Phil putting his hands through his hair. Oh, man. I'm just rambling right now, and I'm stoned off my face. The Rebel of Rebellion, thank you. I'll give you this as well.
Hand jobs all around.
I'll see you guys later.